Mr. President, no man thinks more highly than I do of the patriotism, as well as the abilities of the very worthy gentlemen who have just addressed the House. But different men often see the same subject in different light. And therefore, I hope it will not be thought disrespectful to these gentlemen if, entertaining as I do opinions of a character very opposite to theirs, I shall speak forth my sentiments freely and without reserve. This is no time for ceremony. The question before the House is one of awful moment to the country. For my own part, I consider it as nothing less than a question of freedom or slavery. And in proportion to the magnitude of the subject ought to be the freedom of the debate. It is only in this way that we can arrive at truth and fulfill the great responsibility which we hold to God and to our country. Should I keep back my opinion at such a time through fear of giving offense? I should consider myself as guilty of treason to my country and an act of disloyalty to the majesty of heaven, whom I revere above all earthly kings. Mr. President, it is natural for a man to indulge in the illusion of hope. We are apt to shut our eyes against a hard truth and listen to the sound of that siren song till she transforms us into beasts. Is this the part of wise men engaged in a great and arduous struggle for liberty? Are we disposed to be of the number of those who, having eyes, see not, and having ears, hear not those things which so nearly concern our temporal salvation? For my part, whatever anguish of spirit it may cost, I prefer to know the whole truth, to know the worst, and to provide for it. There is but one lamp by which my feet are lighted. That is the lamp of experience. I know of no way of judging the future but by the past. And judging by the past, I wish to know what there has been in the conduct of the British ministry these past 10 years that gives gentlemen the hopes with which they are pleased to solace themselves in this House. Is it that insidious smile with which our petition has been lately received? Trust it not, sir. It shall prove a snare to your feet. Suffer not yourself to be betrayed by a kiss. Ask yourself how this gracious reception of our petition comports with those warlike properties that cover our oceans and dot our land. Ask yourself, what means this martial array if its purpose be not to force us to submission? Has Great Britain any other enemy in this quarter of the world to call for all this accumulation of navies and armies? No, sir, she has none. They are meant for us. They can be meant for no other. They have been sent over to bind and rivet upon us those chains which the British ministry has been so long in forging. And what have we to oppose them? Shall we try argument? Sir, we have been doing that for the past 10 years. Have we anything new to offer on the subject? Nothing. We have held the subject up in every light of which it is possible, but it has all been in vain. What then shall we try? Entreaty? Humble supplication? What terms shall we find which have not been already exhausted? Let us not, I beseech you, sir, deceive ourselves longer. We have done everything that could be done to avert the storm which is now coming on. We have petitioned, we have remonstrated, we have supplicated, we have prostrated ourselves at the foot of the throne and implored its interposition to hold back the tyrannical hand of the ministry and parliament. Our petitions have been slighted. Our remonstrances have produced additional violence. Our supplications have been disregarded. And we have been spurned with contempt from the foot of the throne. In vain, after these things, do we engage in the fond hope of peace and reconciliation. There is no longer any room for hope. If we wish to be free, if we wish to not abandon the noble struggle in which we've been so long abandoned, and which we have promised never to abandon until the glorious object of our contest have been obtained, then we must fight. I repeat it, sir, we must fight! A call to arms and the God of hosts is all that is left to us. They tell us that we are too weak, unable to cope with so formidable an adversary. When shall we be stronger? Shall we be stronger in the next week? In the next year? Shall we be stronger when we have been totally disarmed and a British Guard is stationed in every home? Shall we gather strength through irresolution and inaction? Shall we acquire the means of effectual resistance by lying supinely on our backs, clinging to the delusive phantom of hope until our enemies have bound us hand and foot? We are not weak, sir, if we make a proper use of the means which the God of nature has placed in our power. 3 millions of people in a country such as this, which we possess, are invincible by any force which our enemies can send against us. Besides, we do not fight our battle alone. That's right. There is a just God who presides over the destiny of nations and will raise up friends to help fight our battles for us. Victory is not to the strong alone, but to the vigilant, the active, the brave. Besides, if we were base enough to desire it, it is now too late to withdraw from the contest. Our chains have already been forged. You may hear them clanking on the fields of Boston. The war is inevitable, and let it come. I say, let it come! It is vain to extenuate the matter. Gentlemen may cry, peace, peace. There is no peace. The war has actually begun. The next gale that sweeps from the north will bring to our ears the clash of resounding arms. Our brethren are already in the field. Why stand we here idle? What does a gentleman want? What would they have? Is life so dear and peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery? No. Forbid it, Almighty God! I know not what course others may take, but as for me, give me liberty, give me death.